Hey everyone, this is me, Joyful Anime 19, back at you with a new What If video. And this is part 4 of What If Deku had Beast Boy's powers from Teen Titans, part 4. Okay, we're at the day of where Deku goes to UA. And Deku sees, hears a familiar voice, and he turns around, and it's Mr. Aizawa, but he calls him Eraserhead, and he says it in his mind. He doesn't blur it out. He just says it in his mind. Wait, don't tell me he's gonna be our Don't tell me he's gonna be my teacher. Man, of all the teachers, of all the heroes to be the teacher that I'm going to be stuck with for the next 3 years. Damn it, I should have seen this coming. I should have seen this coming. But Mr. Aizawa looks at Deku, and Deku is actually looking away. And Mr. Aizawa tells everyone to get in their gym uniform. And, you know, it happens like in canon version. Mr. Aizawa, everyone's saying that you can't do that. And Mr. Aizawa says, yes, I can. Do whatever I want because I'm the teacher. Sorry. So everyone shuts up. No one's going to orientation, just Quirk assessment test. And Deku gets in his and everyone is already in their UA uniform, gym uniform, and so they do the track thing, you know, the race thing, to see how fast they are. And yeah, Deku does actually a lot. Is up against Ida, so he does actually a lot better than he does. And Ida is actually shocked that Deku that he's actually faster than him. Everyone is shocked. So we like I said before, we have a really strong and amazingly smart Deku in this series, in this What If. And so Deku manages to beat everyone, but he doesn't get first place at the ball throw. He gets second place. and Minette and let's see, Mineta is at the bottom, and he's worried that he's going to get kicked out. But for Mr. Aizawa, he sees a lot of potential in everyone, so he decides not to. So he says it out loud that he's not going to expel anyone because he sees so much potential in every last one of them. So everyone is happy that they haven't been expelled. So the day goes as like in canon. And everyone, and Bakugo is really mad that he didn't get first place because of Uraraka and Deku. he actually decides to sneak up behind Deku, but Deku notices this, and 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 Bakugo was actually about to do was actually going to threaten him with an explosion, but Deku sees this coming, and he like slaps Bakugo's hand, telling him, "Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it, or else I'll break your hands." And Bakugo sees this, sees this, sees this menacing murder, sees this menacing aura around Deku, and and yes, Deku does learn blood binding, because he's been around. He's been training nearly his merely his life, and he does have weights in his. He does have weights right there on his legs, so he can get faster. And he decides to add more weights for its legs to get even faster. He has weights on his shirt. He has weights on his shirt. So yeah. And Bakugo just backs off, and he's sweating, and and Kirishima goes up to him and says, "Hey, are you okay? You're sweating a lot." And Bakugo notices Kirishima, and he says, "Nothing, I'm okay." And Bakugo is saying this in his head, "What the hell? What the hell was that all about? What the hell was that?" All it took was one glare at me. I've never been so scared in my life. And usually usually I scare people and threaten them. But this guy, he definitely, he scared the hell out of me. I was actually gonna pass out if he kept staring at me. And he was serious. He was really serious about breaking my hands. And so Bakugo doesn't actually mess with Deku. And All Might sees everything, was watching, and he knew that, and he was about to step in when Bakugo was actually going to use his quirk on Deku, but it seems Deku managed to actually make Bakugo back away from him, back off, and he's like sees, and he knows that Deku could be Beastman, and outside the window, the big three are also looking as well. Are also looking at Deku as well. So that's him. That's Izuku Midoriya. And they're all wondering if he really is Beastman, because they're not sure. Sure, he showed like she showed amazing strength and speed, but they're not really sure if he really is Beastman. So yeah. That so Mr. Aizawa says that tomorrow we'll be taking a trip at no, wait a minute. Mr. Aizawa says that you need to pick a class president, a class represent, a class representative, or class president, I think. And Deku also raised his hand, and Ida says that we should have like an orderly fashion system. The voting thing happened. Mr. Aizawa says, I don't care as long as you get, as long as you guys get, as long as we have a class president. Oh yeah, and don't forget, we also need a vice president as well. Sorry, I'm drinking some water because my voice is a little out of whack. So yeah. Deku gets 4 votes. And it's gonna happen like in the canon version, except it's 4 votes. And Bakugo comes and says, "Okay, who voted for him?" And Bakugo, even though he was scared of Deku for only a moment, but then he shook it off. And he thought of it that maybe it was nothing, maybe it was just a trick. And then everyone says, well, it's not like we were going to vote for you. You're just, well, you act like a kid. And Bakugo will really get mad at this. Will get so angry. Then Deku will come in and chop Bakugo right in the neck. And then Deku says, "Don't worry, he's going to be out for a bit." And then Deku brings out a blanket from his backpack, and puts it on Bakugo. And everyone knows that Deku not only has a strong quirk, but he's also not like, he doesn't act like he doesn't act like an asshole because he has a better quirk. So yeah. So Deku has 4 votes. One is from Asui or Sue. Yes, it's Sue Froppy, I think that's her name. And the other one is from Uraka. And the other one is from Ashido. Because, oh, anyway, I'm not going to explain that much. So, yeah. So yeah, Deku is made class president. And so is Momo. Deku is a little nervous, but he takes on the job. So yeah, so we're at the lunch. Sorry, volume's a little high. So yeah, we're at the lunch. We're at the scene at the lunch. No, wait a minute. So yeah, everyone is like tired. So the whole scene, this whole whole class thing goes, this whole UA school thing goes forward, and it's already the end of the day, and in the next day, everyone in class 1A is trying to get, is now going to UA now, and everyone sees these reporters, and they want to know about All Might being a teacher, if it's true. And you know what happens in canon version. Deku doesn't actually say anything because he transforms into, he decides to transform into a frog. He decides to transform into a chameleon. I mean, take on the abilities of a chameleon, making himself, you know, like chameleons, they have the ability to camouflage themselves so no one can see them. So yeah, Deku is now in UA building, and the reporters were trying to get in, and then the UA gate begins to shut in front of them, and they were trying to get in, and then you know who's there, Shigaraki, he's there, and everyone is at lunch, and and it's lunchtime, and yeah, Deku and Uraraka and Ida are eating lunch together, and and Uraraka asks, so what can you transform into? So what does your quirk allow you to do, Deku? And Deku says, well, my quirk allows me to not only transform into animals, but it allows me to take on the abilities of animals. And I can transform a part of my body into an animal. And I can take on the attributes of animals as well. And their animal instincts as well. Oh, I see. And unlike Beast Boy is a vegetarian, but Deku is not a vegetarian. He doesn't have Beast Boy's personality about animals and things like that. Deku is an omnivore. He eats meat and fruits and vegetables because he likes the taste. And Ida says, usually people with a quirk like yours are vegetarians. Well, I'm not a vegetarian. Well, Ida, I'm not like the others. I'm not like the other people that have a quirk just like mine, or kind of like mine, but still, I like meat, so I like eating other meats, and I'm an omnivore, so yeah. And then then the alarm goes off, and everyone starts freaking out, and you know what happens in canon version. Everyone is rushing through the doors, and Ida looks at the window and notices that it's the media, and they broke through the wall. But we all know it's Shigaraki trying to steal the schedule for the USJ. And Ida tries to tell everyone, but nothing works. And so Deku was actually getting mad. So he transforms into an elephant. So he transforms into an elephant and tells everyone to like calm down and he says, everyone calm down. Look outside. Look outside the window. It's the media. And everyone looks outside. And they were surprised. And not only that, they were also surprised that Deku transformed into an elephant and then transformed back. And then Deku says, we're all UA students. We're all trained to be heroes, and yet all of you got scared because of the media? Have a little guts. Have some guts, okay? Seriously. And everyone listens to this and they respect what Deku said, and they clap because Deku told them, and they respect what Deku said. So yeah, Deku is being respected by everyone around him. So yeah. And like I said in my other what ifs, Deku's clothes, like shapeshifters, they can like create their own clothing. But Deku's clothing like disappears and then reappears when he transforms back to a human. So it's like a psychological thing. So yeah, everything like that happens. And the police come in and they get the media out. And yeah. And then the USJ incident happens. And Mr. Aizawa says, everyone get ready. Put on your hero costumes. We're all going to the... Oh, wait a minute, that doesn't happen. Let me change this up a little bit. And then All Might comes in and says, I am here. And then he sees Deku. Everyone says All Might, and then Deku sees All Might, and All Might also sees Deku. And he knows that he believes he knows that Deku is Beastman. So yeah, we get the whole thing. Deku's costume is a bit different. So yeah, it's like not all that flashy. He wears like a bit of a cloak. It's kind of like a hood. Has a hoodie and some things. It's kind of like Beast Boy's like what Beast Boy wears, except that he has like a he has a hoodie with it and things like that. And so we get the same team up, same teams and things like that. Same teams, and Uraraka and Deku and Bakugo versus Bakugo and Ida. And Bakugo just can't wait to take down Deku and make him regret ever going to UA. And he gives Deku the death glare, and Deku like shrugs it, and Deku actually looks away. And Bakugo gets even more angry at this. And and then Deku makes a plan, and the plan is that Uraraka stays behind him, and then when Bakugo comes in, because he knows that Bakugo is is impatient and things like that. So Deku would attack. So Deku would grab onto his, and so they're in the building, and Bakugo goes in with the explosion, but it goes a bit different. Deku jumps the moment that he was about to attack, and grabs Bakugo's arm and throws him into the ground. And then Deku and when he was about to get up, Deku punches him in the face, and then kicks him in the shoulder to sprain his arm, and then he puts the capture tape on Bakugo, and they're already done. And Bakugo is like passed out, and so they deal with Ida. Then Deku asks Uraraka to make them float onto the ceiling, and Deku makes himself invisible, uses the abilities of the chameleon to scare Ida, making him believe that they're already inside, and Ida runs around, tries to find them, but then Uraraka says now. But then Deku says now, and then Deku pushes Uraraka to the bomb, and then she hugs the bomb like in the original anime, and the hero team wins, and Ida is like shocked, and he can't believe he actually failed. They actually lost. And he thought that he was gonna be okay even without Bakugo. So yeah, everyone is actually shocked at Deku's incredible strength and speed, and his reflexes, and his intelligence. So so they do the whole thing, and then All Might says, so you will be evaluated by the students, and then Momo comes up and says that Deku not only showed great leadership, but he also showed great. He not only showed great leadership, he also showed strength and great intelligence, even up against opponents, and he also and Uraraka and Deku are actually happy about this, and they both high five, and then she blushes a bit, and Deku blushes only a little bit. So yeah, So yeah, we're going to get to the USJ in part 5 of this What If video, this What If series. So you'll be expecting more of this. So you'll be expecting more of this in the future. See you everyone, and this is me, Joyful Anime. Hope you all, Joyful Anime 19. Hope you all enjoyed this video like I do, making it.